Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lawrence County Animal Hour. We're so excited this afternoon. I'm Leanne Pettis with Friends of Lawrence County Animals. We have Beth Keaton, who is also with FOLCA. And our guest today, we're very excited about, is Shane Eaton, who is our Lawrence County Commission Chair. And Shane is also running for County Executive, Shane. So congratulations on stepping up and running. We're really excited. This is the second in our candidate series. We had County Executive David Morgan last week. Today we have Shane Eaton, Commission Chair Shane Eaton, and next week we have Commissioner Philip Heatherly. So it's been a great series, and thank you so much for joining us. Before we begin, I want to thank our sponsors, Story and Lee, Hearing of Middle Tennessee, Hearing Services of Middle Tennessee, and Lawrenceburg Eye Care. And we also have really exciting news. Parks Lumber Company has stepped up, and they have also agreed to sponsor the Lawrence County Animal Hour. We're so thankful for all of our sponsors and what they do. Parks Lumber, Tracy Pervarsi is a board member of FOLCA, and their organization, their company, Parks Lumber, like our other sponsors, have been so supportive of Friends of Lawrence County Animals, the Lawrence County Animal Shelter, and of course the animals of Lawrence County.
And they've also fostered. They've also been a foster.
Yes. We can
really
list quite a few things that the Pervarsis have done. So we're so appreciative for that. And then we have one more guest. His name is Bowie, Beth.
We have Bowie, and of course Bowie is not looking at the camera.
Well, Bowie,
but he's wagging his tail. He's good.
He's such a cutie pie. I wish everybody could see him.
Well, I'm going to try to get him to stand up. Come on, Bowie. Come on.
He looks like a little overgrown wired hair terrier,
Yes, he does.
doesn't he?
Yeah, look.
Just such a cutie pie, and has the absolute best.
there.
Hey, Bowie. Hey, Bowie, buddy.
He likes me now. So
Oh, that's okay.
Don't take it away from Miss Beth.
Okay.
Bowie is a male. Bowie
Has not been neutered.
He
You
has not been
mentioned.
neutered, but he's on the list and will be. Bowie will be 2-year-old in January.
Oh, Bowie, you're just a little boy.
So, but I would say Bowie's probably grown. I don't think Bowie's going to get a lot bigger, but he's very friendly. He loves other dogs. He's been around my
adorable.
grandson, so he likes children.
You love children too, Bowie.
He loves children.
Oh, you've got the cutest face,
I
buddy.
want you to turn around and smile.
There you go.
Here, turn around and smile.
You are adorable. His
Now
little
we're gonna-
markings are adorable.
Well, maybe I can get him to turn around before the show's over. But everybody can see that tail wagging.
Yeah, maybe before it's over. Bowie, in fact, Bowie was just really a poser until the camera came on.
Until the camera came on. Yes.
Yeah.
But he wants to
There
go
you
around
go.
and say hello to everybody.
Yes, sir.
So, Shane, thank you so much for joining us today. And you've been involved with us since the very beginning. I know you want to talk about that. So can you kind of recap the starting at the beginning and talk about some of the advances regarding animal welfare?
Sure. First, thank you for letting me come to your show. I think this is a great thing, and it's amazing to see beautiful animals like Bowie to be adopted and try to get adopted out. So I think this is a great thing for Lawrence County. So when I got elected in 2014 as county commissioner, and the animal welfare actually started under T.R. Williams' administration. Chris Jackson was commissioner at the time, and he was the first chair of the animal welfare committee. And I was very humbled. They asked me to come and be a part of that, and I was vice chair, and I was very humbled to be asked to do that. And we were able to. We've come a long way. I mean, I think our shelter at the time was like a concrete block building.
Yeah.
All the things.
Which is still there.
Yeah. but all,
I mean,
all
we
the
have a new
kennels-
building.
Yeah, we
but
do.
the existing the first shelter was still there
there.
Yes,
in a
ma'am.
concrete
Yeah.
building. Yes.
And all the kennels were outside, and so it was great to get on board and get our new shelter started. And I remember that meeting with everybody, and I was like, man, and I think I made the motion to do the $50,000, and I thought that was just, I was like, hey, yeah, we need this.
Well, and you also made the motion on the Animal Welfare Committee
Yes, yeah, yeah.
to start the Animal Welfare Committee when Volca first made its presentation
Yeah.
to the commission.
It was great. And I think our spay and neuter program started out like 10 grand, didn't it? I think it was $10,000 or.
No, 25.
Was it 25?
It was
the
25.
first time? Okay. I mean, we built it up to 35 now.
Yes,
but,
we have.
But I thought it was less than that. But hey, we've come a long way, and I really am proud to see that because we're taking care of our animals. That shows a lot about Lawrence County.
And so, what role do you think government should play in animal welfare?
So I'm a firm believer in the county. We should set the example. County government should be the example. If we're trying to tell people, hey, we want to do better with the shelter, we want to try to help our animals, our stray animals, we need to set the example. So that means we need to give the funding to the shelter. We need to make sure they have the tools available. They need to have the building available to help all that. We also need to support our groups that are out there. I mean, all the groups. We need to big support of that. Because every group out there has a mission.
Right.
And so it's all different missions, but they're all mostly for animals. Most of the time, it's all for animals. There's some for cats. There's some for horses out there. I mean,
Yes.
So I think we should back them 100% and try to work with them and come up with solutions for our stray animal problem or any animal issue that comes up.
It is all about solutions at the end of the day, and it is a public-private partnership. And that's something that Volca has worked. You guys have been a great partner. That we have worked very closely with you, with both the city and the county government since its inception. And you're right; it not only takes all groups, but it takes everyone. Don't you agree?
Yes, ma'am. Government should be a resource. It shouldn't be a burden on people. We shouldn't be trying to. If we're going to ask people to do things, if we set resolutions apart, then we need to be, the people vote us in. We need to listen to their voices and do what they ask us to do. And if they don't, they can vote us out.
Right.
And I think that's what needs. We need to be held accountable. So we need to set that example, and we need to be the resource. We don't need to be a burden.
So, as we mentioned earlier, our shelter transitioned from a city shelter to the county shelter, and it's still in the process of transitioning to meet 45,000 residents.
Yes, ma'am.
So there's, still a lot going on. It is full. It's close to intake, except for, emergencies and through our animal control officers. As an elected official, what are your priorities for staffing, facilities, and again, community partnerships to make that successful?
And I think that goes back to what I just said. We got to make sure that the shelter has the resources it needs. I mean, if it doesn't have the resources and the funding and the staffing, then it can't do its job. It's going to be overcrowded at some point, and then, and like I just said, we need to partner with all the organizations in Lawrence County. If they can provide a solution, then why not listen to them?
Right.
And say, let's take that and go with it and see if we can make it work. It takes all of us working together to get this problem under control. There's no doubt. I mean, this is.
It does. It's going to take everybody,
yes,
each and every one of us, because we did not get here overnight.
No, ma'am. And we're transitioning to 45,000 residents. We might be at 50,000 in 5 years. So more people means more animals, and of course, hopefully it means more volunteers and more donations, hopefully,
Yes.
and that's, we talk about community helping out. If everybody donates a bag of dog food or a bag of food for an animal, or they become a trained foster home for pets, I think that's a great thing. And so that means more volunteers and more things. Maybe we can get our dogs.
It's going to make all the difference in the world. And should we mention the new initiative that we're working on?
I think so.
Why don't you talk about that, Beth?
Well,
Not be put on the spot or nothing, Miss Beth.
Have we decided that it's the Loco kibble?
Well, that's the reason why I
kibble
let you,
cupboard?
because we just talked about it this
This
morning.
morning we were struggling with we don't want a long name, but we want people to know
Loco Pet Kibble
kibble
Cupboard. Yes, maybe.
But
Yeah.
but really what that is dog food donations that we can help people who are struggling to keep their pet because of various things,
Yeah.
health situations, loss of a job. I mean, it could be a number of things, but if we could help them with giving them food and keep that animal in the home, we've got to somehow
And out of the shelter.
keep more
Oh, yeah.
animals in the home and out of the shelter.
I agree with that 100%. I
yes.
think that's a great thing.
Yes. And so we're
That just makes good common sense to help people, That's
Yes.
That's just it.
And in many cases, people have to surrender their animals because they can't afford to feed them, and
Yes.
and usually
Yeah.
for a limited time. So if we could help with that, we're working on a program right now, and so we should have the information that we'll be releasing on social media, and maybe we'll come up with a cuter and catchier name. I don't know. That's what we were playing with anyway.
I
The
don't
kibble
know.
cupboard sounds pretty
Kibble,
good.
the kibble cupboard.
cupboard. Yeah,
Kibble
maybe we
cupboard.
just need
Cut
to
the rest
shorten
of it
it.
off. Just make it the kibble cupboard.
Okay.
The kibble cupboard.
Yeah.
That would be fine. Yeah.
Hey, that's
The
kinda cute.
KK initiative
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, whatever. I like the kibble cupboard. But let's go ahead. I know we touched on fosters there for a few minutes.
Sure.
We desperately need fosters, people that will foster shelter animals. Last year we did home for the holidays fostering campaign, and I'm sure that Ginger will want to do that again. And there was, I don't remember how many people fostered animals last year for home for the holidays, but it was several. But if you could just foster an animal, I mean, you can pick the time. It can be for a week, it can be 2 weeks, it can be a month. And we promise we won't leave you with that animal. When that animal needs to come back, we will get that animal back to the
But
shelter.
the animal will come back in a much better place.
Absolutely.
Because everybody will know if how the dog reacts around children or cats. Really, cats is
really
the big
cats.
Oh, yeah.
Because
issue.
everybody has a cat
Yes,
too.
yes. So
And we don't know what Bowie would think of a cat. But if he could live in a foster home for a little while, and it just helps us know more about their
If
temperament.
he's like my dog, you just want to chase him around the house.
Yes, that's what mine
all they
does,
want to
too.
do. I mean,
or lick them to death. But
and he just wants to play. My dog, he just wants to play with him.
But if anyone that's looking to adopt or says, hey, I think I can foster an animal for a short period of time, they can call the shelter at 931-244-0265. And you'll probably get the answering machine with some various instructions about, if you're calling for whatever. But Ginger does return every call.
yes.
So I have a question though. Is there training for possible people that want to foster? Is there something out there what do you look for in a foster home?
Ginger really
She
really-
screens and asks a series of
Yes,
questions to make
yes.
sure. And also, I shouldn't say screen, and I shouldn't say it's really a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So the fosterer is learning all about what is needed, and at the same time, Ginger is learning about where the dog is going, and if she can help, what resources the shelter can help in that initiative.
And I know that she does have a handout that she gives all adopters as well about introducing your dog to your family and how long it takes, and do this and watch for that. And, so she does have information that she hands out. Absolutely. And
Okay. That's good to know.
So we talked about, our county is growing, and in many cases, and we've all talked about this as an organization, animal welfare connects to tourism, to quality of life, to community and economic development. We mentioned last week, and I'll say it again, the chamber that Beth had worked for, Chamber of Commerce, so many prospective companies would come in, and as part of their questions they have for the community. They wanted to know, how do we take care of our animals? Because do you want to kind of expand on that?
Well, every company that comes in usually will bring a few employees, to get the company up and going. And they want to make sure that if they're bringing people here, that there are services here for those people. Because a lot of people, a lot of other places do have more services than we do.
Right.
And especially when you were working, they were very limited service.
Limited.
Yes.
So we have come a long way, like you said.
Yes, ma'am.
We have come a long
and you
way.
heard it from not only companies, but people who are moving into the area.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that, Shane, on how animal welfare, how would you highlight that connection as county executive?
So, how we treat our animals probably speaks volumes to not only companies but families that want to move here. They don't want to. They want to come to a place that's safe. That's where they're. If they bring an animal, that their animal's going to be safe, where they can get good vet services. A business is going to come in and they're going to look. Okay, this Lawrence County's clean. It's it doesn't have animals just going everywhere and out on the roads and everything like that. So, I think that's a big plus to saying, hey, we're making Lawrence County first. We're taking care of things. We're going to take care of you if you come to Lawrence County. And that means when you come to Lawrence County, we're going to make you first, And, I think
And
that's
don't
a
you
great
think
thing.
it sends the message, if we're taking care of our animals, it means that if we're taking better care of our animals, it means we're taking better care of everybody else.
Oh, yes.
You know?
It's good. It's good for tourism. It's good for our image. It's good for, it shows that we take care of Lawrence County.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies and families are going to want to come here because of that. They're going to say that. They're going to say, hey, we got a good shelter. So maybe they'll come and adopt if they want to, and stuff like
it
that.
comes to mind, and I want to bring this up, the connection. It always reminds me years ago when I worked as a volunteer for Atlanta's Table. And as part of that, all of the nonprofits would meet, much like what we do here in Lawrence County, would meet. And I wasn't even involved in animal welfare. I was with Atlanta's Table, volunteering. And they had animal welfare people there, and the other nonprofits were so supportive. And the reason why is they knew that, again, how everything ties together. They are so supportive of animal welfare organizations because it lifts families up when they have the resources. Everything ties together.
Yeah.
When you go to a third world country, one of the first things you see are a lot of stray animals. And then that also tells you that there's a breakdown in society in other places too, and that's usually it.
Well, and they don't have the resources we have in America.
Yes.
So that's,
Yes.
So we're very blessed to live in Lawrence County for sure.
We certainly are. We want to move over, Shane, to law enforcement and public safety. Would you speak a little bit about enforcing animal cruelty laws and what you know as commission chair about some of the challenges that perhaps the county has had in bringing forth these types of charges?
So, the laws are there. We have state law. We have the laws that are over animal cruelty and animal neglect. The problem is trying to prove it. Is it actual neglect, or is it just a case where somebody got overwhelmed? So the officer. So we got to make sure our officers have that training. They have the knowledge of what the difference is, and then we got to give them the tools to have good, solid evidence. If you have good, solid evidence to make a case stick, then you'll be a lot better. Also, too, you can also take animal cruelty and add it to another charge. Like if they had, let's just say if they were charged with making drugs at their house, when they had a dog there, well, you can add animal cruelty to that list of charges. So that's just another avenue. And it is. It's if they're having a dog live in a drug house, then it is animal cruelty. I think we've had cases where people have unfortunately left their horses get underfed, and that's that's animal neglect. So I think the sheriff has had some cases where they've had to deal with that. But the laws are there. We just got to make sure the animal resource officer or the animal control officers have the resources needed and the training. I'm a firm believer in education for our employees. I think a better trained employee can do better customer service for our citizens. So make sure our animal control officers have the right training and make sure they're going and getting more up to date on the laws and things so they can make their case more solid. I think that's great. That's what we need to do.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, I think Ginger, and I mentioned this, and the ACO both came back from Chattanooga, going through a training session there, I believe, not too long ago, and came back with some really great information. And again, there's some innovative things that are out there that FOLCA, as an organization, is always learning about. And of course, Ginger's on top of it as well. One of the things that we discovered, even with Nashville Humane, they have an entire department on keeping animals in homes, trying to do that. And so that's the reason why FOLCA is really going to be focused on helping the shelter with that initiative, with the dog food drive, and of course other things as well.
One thing too I'd like to see, and I don't know, y'all, I think we've talked about this before, is we're talking about dogs and other things, but hopefully we can get a program for cats at some point.
Yes.
Try to expand into that.
Yes.
And I've got several stray cats around my neighborhood, and I don't have nothing against them, but they just definitely take over. So at some point, hopefully we can kind of expand into that and at least get them spayed or neutered to
absolutely
not reduce as much.
So I know that we've talked about this in the past, but we'll bring this up, of course. Lawrence County SNPs, financial assistance for those who need it. The number is, and thanks to the generous grant from the Lawrence County Commission, we could not do this without them. Please call 931-852-4907. Again, that's 931-852-4907. And a volunteer will return your call within 48 hours. And have a conversation, ask a few questions, and help you out if you need it or if you know someone who needs it. Which also brings us, because we don't have, a shelter for cats, really spay-neuter is the only way to go. And you'll be glad to know that we partner with some individuals, and if there's anybody else out there who is interested in addressing our cat colony program, please reach out to the SNPs number as well. But we work with a group of individuals that work with cat colonies and have really addressed maybe 4 or 5 very large cat colonies in Lawrence County, continues to work on them.
Okay.
And of course, spay-neuter is the only way. So,
yeah, I agree.
So, yes.
We talk about that spay-neuter program. People say $35,000, that's a lot of money. But that really goes to help curb that animal reproduction.
Yes.
We don't, so you can spend a little bit now and save hundreds of thousands of dollars later.
Yes.
It keeps the shelter from being overcrowded.
Yes.
It's not going to, people are still going to have to give up their animals, or in some cases, of course, or, but it's going to help alleviate a lot of that. So,
yes. So, funding and sustainability. So how will you ensure that our current animal programs are sustainable and not be the first to be cut when budgets are tight?
So animal welfare is not something that's just a little thing. It's not, it's part of health and safety. So, if you have stray animals, you have possible diseases. They get out in the middle of roads. People have wrecks. It's so many different things out there. So, we got to have that. So in my case, we're going to continue that. The spay and neuter program is great. I think we need to expand it. I think we need to keep our shelter going. I think, we've done well. Your organization's working on trying to get a quarantine and intake
Yes.
shelter coming.
Yes.
You know, at some point, we're probably going to have to expand the shelter itself. So I think we need to look at that. We need to look ahead of that. We need to be proactive instead of reactive. Government, unfortunately, sometimes is more reactive than to things than proactive. So we need to look at proactive avenues and try to plan. We need a plan. Okay, how far down the road can we plan? So I agree with that 100%. We need to plan and go where we're going to go with that.
You know, maybe, yes, with the Animal Welfare Committee, maybe before, relatively soon, we, with all the partners, can get in and work on maybe a 5 to 10 year plan. And what does that look like to make sure that we're all headed in the right direction and working towards the same goals.
And that's, if the people of Lawrence County give me the honor to be their next county executive, that's going to be my first month's thing, is going to meet with all the organizations in Lawrence County, going to meet with the staff of the shelter, and we're going to sit down and we're going to say, okay, what are the issues? What are your problems? What are you having trouble with? What do you need? And I think sitting down and you need to listen to them and listen and write down, okay. And then once we find out where everything, okay, what is your solution to that? You know, if you come to the county with an issue, I would hope that you would bring a solution or an idea for a solution. We can all work together. It's easy to have issues about everything, but if you can come with a solution to help start that.
It's amazing because the next we're talking. I've got right here.
Go ahead.
VOLCA is a solutions-based organization. Well, we do brag that we have a rocket scientist on our board, and also our newest board member is a graduate of Six Sigma, who is all about processes and how to streamline processes and all of that. So we are thrilled.
I'm a green belt in Six Sigma.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Well, you know all about
so I know
it
a little bit. Now, you might be a black belt in black belt. She.
Okay. I don't know.
She's probably a little bit higher up on the.
She has already helped, I can tell you, in our board meeting, as far as looking everything from a time, from a resource, labor intensive. Just wonderful. We're so proud to have her on there.
That's what Six Sigma is all about, is getting the process a lot faster and a lot more efficient. So
yes.
That's going to be great.
Yes.
That's good to have.
So, and also Beth and I tend to do that with our morning coffee sometimes, these, and then the rest of our board. And then we listen to the community too. And we listen to our partners because we have partners. We partner with so many different organizations, and it's so important to listen to them and to understand what is going on. And they may see something a little differently than we do. And we have epiphanies all the time and, change
I agree with
course.
that 100%. You hear that, you ever heard a good leader surrounds herself with smart people, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing. If you don't listen to those smart people, what's the point of surrounding yourself with smart people? You can surround yourself with yes people.
Yes. Which
is, some people do that. They like to hear, oh, yes, we're going to do that. But if you surround yourself with smart people, you need to be smart enough to listen to that. And listen to the community and listen to the organizations. And that's one thing as chair of the commission that I've learned to do is listen. Listen to what the commissioners have to say, what the citizens have to say about issues. And I would do the same thing as county executive. Give the people an ear. They would know that their issues are being listened to.
So we're going to, regarding these things that we have mentioned, that we're about to mention, we are going to meet with the ACOs. We're going to be meeting with various other organizations, but we wanted to run this past you and get your thoughts as well. Reduce potential owner surrenders caused by no pet rental policies. how it works. Maybe we can recognize landlords who allow pets with a pet welcome certified seal, provide guidance on pet deposits, cleanup, and insurance. And we work with the Lawrence County Chamber. We work with local realtors. We work with insurance agents, especially insurance agents. And of course, we work with property owners. What are your feelings about that?
So I've spoken to some rental property owners, and they've told me, hey, it's a business.
Right.
It's a business. They have to have an income, monthly income, and that's where they get their money from. So I think that would be a great idea to recognize those property owners or those rental owners that do accept pets with that seal. I think there's two or three organizations that give them a seal or something like that. And they can put that on their website or whatever. Hey, we are recognized property owner. Also, too, they can increase. My daughter lived in Huntsville, and when she was working down there, and when she had a pet, they had to pay extra.
Yes.
For the, they had to pay a little bit more deposit. They had to pay, and she had to pay extra a year to have a pet. So I think that would be a better business model for the rental owners, saying, hey, they're going to get more money. But in the process too, they have to screen those pet owners. You see what I'm saying? Yes. They don't want a pet owner that's going to be irresponsible with their pet. They're not going to let the pet just go to the restroom all over their house. Right. They're not going to clean it up. They need to they need to make sure that the pet's vaccinated, spayed and neutered, the whole 9 yards. I would think as a rental, if I had a rental, I would want that. I would not want to know that, hey, that person's responsible enough to keep the pet cleaned up and not destroy my property in the process.
Absolutely. Maybe, of course, there's a screening process, a lot of things.
And that's the reason a lot of rental owners don't do that, is because of the bathroom mishaps that happen or the scratches that happen in there. It destroys their house, and sometimes, and that's the reason they charge extra. But is it enough to recoup the damage that could happen? So, but I think it's a great idea. I think if you recognize those owners,
and maybe even think about, I don't even know what that would look like, but think about some type of incentives to those property owners, because once
some people give them tax breaks. Some cities or counties give them tax breaks, and we'd have to go probably to legislation for that, but I don't know. That's something to look at.
Yes, and maybe some data. Maybe we can somehow get some data, but I am hearing, and we've heard it since we've been with our organization, how many animals are surrendered because they're moving into an apartment or into housing that will not accept pets.
And here's the thing too, most pet owners are pretty responsible with their property because they're taking care of their pets, so they're going to take care of the property most of the time.
Yes. Right. And if there's not, then you pay.
FOCA was invited to participate in the Lawrence County Substance Abuse Coalition's, what did they call, resource or treat. It was a trick or treat event this past Saturday night. And we were there and we were handing out our SNPs information to people. And we heard, I don't know, I would say 1 in 5, maybe 1 in 10. My landlord won't let me have an animal.
Which
means
we heard that a lot.
They take that. Hopefully, they'll go to the shelter.
Well, and that's like I said, it's a business, and and we're thinking of we're trying to. I empathize with the people that rent. I see both sides too, and that's the thing as county executive, you've got to listen to both sides of everything.
I see
but
both sides.
You also need to come to a happy medium. You can try to maybe have a happy medium. You can try to get rental owners and say, hey, there might be some incentive for you to do. They in turn, they want to keep their property clean. They want to make sure they don't want to have to do, much. They don't want to have to.
We can brainstorm through that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Sit down with other organizations, and property owners, say, what is the issues?
Maybe talk with cleaning organizations that can offer a discount when someone moves out and there's a turnover. There's lots of things to be done around this, but it is a real challenge.
Yes, it is.
Licensing requirement. Issue a license for every owned dog or cat residing in Lawrence County, and maybe the fee goes to microchipping, spay neuter at the shelter. Licensing can be completed online, by mail, or at participating vets. Your thoughts?
So I like the microchipping idea because, that helps get the owners back reunited with their pet. I think we need more community input for a licensing fee. People really don't. I would love to have what they want to say. If the citizens are okay with it, I'd love to have more input from the citizens on that. Now, if the fee actually covers the entire part of the microchipping, I don't know what it is, $125 for microchipping or something like that.
No, some vets are 60 and some are 45.
Okay. So I'm way off. Good. I'm glad I was way high. So if the fee covered that, I would be okay with that if the citizens were okay with that. I would want more input from the citizens on that. But if the fee does cover that, I'm okay with that.
So there's something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that we're going to work with really soon is match gentle senior pets with senior citizen for a mutual benefit. Volca or the shelter covers food and bedding for a period of time. Volunteers will check in with the senior weekly to make sure everything's going. And we would partner with the senior centers in the county, Meals on Wheels, and area churches, which we need to get more churches involved in some of our initiatives.
Oh, I agree with that. And another thing, too, you could look into is maybe so the colleges come in, so like there's the school organizations within the college, they might need people to volunteer or something. You maybe could get with the school organizations like maybe, I don't know if UT Southern's got the Greek organizations or not, but you could get with them and do something. But I think that's a beautiful idea. I think trying to get senior pets with senior citizens. I mean, senior citizens need a reason to kind of get up and move.
And companionship. Yes, absolutely.
I agree 100% with that. I wouldn't know what, my dog is great. When I come home, he's there. My wife, he sits down with us on the couch, kind of plows on us. He doesn't really sit. He just, but
Yes, absolutely. He's a family member.
Yeah, and I think that would be a great thing for senior citizens, just to make sure that, hey, they've got somebody to be there for them. I think that's a beautiful idea.
Good.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about keeping pets in homes during financial hardship.
And I think that's a great idea, too. I think if the more we can do for our citizens that are having issues, it's going to, the better off the person's going to be and the animals as well. I love that kibble covered idea.
And I know the Santa for Seniors program that Sandy Mashburn does every year. I know on her list, a lot of times it's dog food and cat food that person needs, in addition to maybe some socks or something like that. But
I think that's great. People need, we don't want them to get overwhelmed. I think people going through some tough times. And the federal government is looking at cutting off some federal aid, so we might be in some tough times for more people. So we might, we need to really think about that in the future.
Yes. And so we are, we are starting to work on a dog and cat food initiative. Since today. We had a very productive morning.
That's great. That's great.
8 o'clock coffee.
It's our 8 o'clock coffee this morning. So look to hear more about that.
Well, and that goes back to what can the community do about animal welfare, is if they can do just a little bit, that makes a big difference. If we can donate a bag of dog food or cat food to the kibble cupboard, that's going to make a big difference.
And you know what else we could do? I mean, not everything has to go through the shelter or through us.
Yeah.
We need to send out reminders for people who have extra dog or cat food to put it in the boxes around.
In the food boxes.
In the food boxes.
The blessing boxes.
Yes, around the county. That way, it just, we just hit it. And then you mentioned we did Santa for Seniors. And then with Sandy, which was wonderful. And then the We also put our spay-neuter information in both of those, Santa for Seniors and
Spirit of Santa.
Spirit of Santa. We put the flyers in regarding
Yes.
spay-neuter, and maybe we could work with dog
And
food in both
we
of
have
those.
put it in food box distributions
Okay.
too. We've done that as well.
Yeah. And like I said, if we can get all the other organizations to come together,
Yes.
and just do that initiative, I think that would be great.
Yes.
Because they might know of people that need dog food or cat
Yes.
food too.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
Once again, we don't know we only know certain people
Yes.
that might need it, and they might know somebody else. Or,
Yes.
Well, there's so much work to be done.
Oh, gosh,
Shane, and
yeah.
I don't know if Lynn and I will live long enough.
Well, look, let me say this.
And we've got a young board.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
board members
There
are
you
getting
go.
younger and younger,
Right.
which is
There you go.
really good.
Which that's really good because
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
you're continuing. So we've come a long way, and since it started in gosh, in 2014, it's come a long way.
It has come a long way.
And so I can say that it's done well. I think,
Yeah.
and I think it will continue.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's not it's a marathon. It's
It
not
is a
sprint, you know,
marathon.
and we got to continue that.
And we're proud of our successes, and there's just so much more we want to do. And I know, and I'm getting off topic here, but I know
Well, we're
one thing.
almost finished, so we
You're
can get off
It's
topic.
like the
I guess.
women's shelter. I know Karen has
Yes.
said to us, we've got a partner, Beth, you know, Leanne, we need help because we have women who are not leaving an abusive situation because of their animal, because the women's shelter can't take the animal.
Goodness,
well-
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we don't also need that animal to end up in the shelter either,
Right.
you know. So I have been like, okay,
Now, the good
we can do this. We can come up with a solution here.
The good news is we're starting, and this is for somebody going into 8 Oaks, maybe 2, or is transitioning to another and really needs help with their animals and cannot do it and so the good news is that we're going to hopefully start a group for short-term fosters
Yes.
because they're not
Yes.
going to be able to, they're not keeping
Yes.
these animals for a very long period of time, but at such a critical point in people's lives and what a
Yes.
difference it will make.
Well,
Well, and
I think too, you could take the shelter for instance. If we could expand their program into allowing, if we could give them another place that would allow animals. You know, just have a different shelter for.
You mean like a facility for women that they can move in with their animals?
Yes. I would think that might be an idea to look at. I don't know, and just in the future, and that way they don't have to be separated from them,
Right.
because that animal's got to go. If it goes to a shelter or to a foster, it's got to get used to that person, and then all over again.
Well,
which
and-
is not a bad thing. I'm just
Right.
saying that it would be
there's-
easier to transition the lady and her dog or her cat or whatever.
Right.
Now unless it's snakes. Now I don't know. I don't know about all that, but I don't want to foster a snake. I'm good with that. But no, I'm just kidding.
We haven't,
I'm
now
just
there
kidding.
are snake lovers out
They
there.
are,
that's
and
okay.
God bless them. They can have them. I'm
Yeah.
glad that they are. I'm glad that
But
they like them.
even the Substance Abuse Coalition, they have people that need to go into rehab,
Right.
that are ready to go into rehab, but they have nowhere for their animal to
Right.
go, and they will not leave their animal. And I'm thinking, I'm not leaving mine either. I'm
No, I
not
agree.
going to leave my dog. You
right.
know,
We're talking about
But-
senior citizens that might have to go to rehab or countryside, or
Yes.
and then all of a
for-
sudden,
to
where's
get
their animal
better.
going to go?
Right.
we have Edna right now.
Yeah.
Grandma Edna. Grandma Edna's owner passed away. And Grandma Edna needs a senior citizen to take her.
She does, even though she is very lively. She is the cutest thing.
She's still got a lot of life in her.
She has
but
a lot of life into it, but she is perfect for a senior person.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean,
She's the one that one of the first ones that we will be taking around to the senior
Yes.
centers, unless there is someone listening who would love to adopt
Edna. Grandma Edna.
That would
We
be-
call
yeah.
her Grandma Edna. You know.
What kind of dog is she? Do you know?
She is
A brown dog. She's a brown dog.
Well, mine's black. I don't know.
She's as cute as she can be, and so is yours. I've seen a picture of yours too. Tell us a little bit about your dog, Shane.
So, my dog's name is Denver. We, my wife and I our kids had moved out. Derek had just got married, and he moved out with his wife, and we had an empty nest. So, we were driving up to Walmart one day, and there's this couple giving away puppies. So we just thought we'd stop and check them out, and it was just, I don't know, I guess the Lord just said, hey, you need this dog. He bit me the first day I met him, but, he didn't really bite me. He just nipped, he chew on you, and, but no, he's been great. He's half Cocker Spaniel and half Lab.
Oh, no pug?
No pug.
Oh, okay.
No
because
pug.
his little face.
Yeah, his little
looks
face is
But it could be the Cocker Spaniel
Yes,
that I'm
ma'am.
looking
Yeah.
It's just,
Okay.
and it's just
He's
a great
pretty
dog.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, and so that's another thing we talk about community, what communities can do. We immediately went and got his vaccinations, and we went and got him spayed or neutered. I don't know which one it is for males or
You got
Neutered.
neutered.
okay, males are neutered. Okay, I always get those mixed up, but we got him fixed. How about that?
Yes.
And we keep him safe. We try to, I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. Gosh, they're just great. A pet is
he's
just a
become
great
your
thing.
child.
He has.
He's just your little-
We take him outside and making sure we got the leash that works and the collar that works. And my wife probably would not take she wouldn't take $1 million for him, and it's just, this is great to have. But he's kind of a rescue. He didn't come from the shelter, but, we kind of rescued him from,
Right. Yes. Yes.
And I mean, you look, just sitting right here, just Bowie right here. He's just trying to give unconditional love, and that's what a pet does. Even a cat, they're independent selves, but they give love in their own way.
They certainly do, especially in the mornings.
Yes,
wake up
ma'am.
and feed me. Wake up and feed me.
Yeah. Or they jump on your head and feed me now.
Yeah. So we are, one of the things that we also talked about is how interesting it is for a community to do something that kind of enhances a culture that improves animal welfare. And I was telling several people, my husband and I just got back from Canada, and they have so many beautiful places and cities and just breathtaking. But one of the most interesting things, and of course it wasn't only me, in Toronto, they had this beautiful fountain in the city center, and it was all dogs, with water coming out, the cutest dogs, and one cat. So you had, dogs and then the cat.
Yeah.
But not only was it an attraction for everybody was there walking their dogs and, talking and eating lunch. It was such the city center. But the group that I was with, and I was with a large group of people, everybody just lit up when they saw this fountain.
Right.
So there's something about animals that really, if a community incorporates that, and I know Main Street is trying to do a really great job in inviting animals into the square. They're, putting up doggy bags. I think they've talked about that. Water bowls. A lot of people, and retail organizations will have those. It's just, it just seems to send a message that you're friendly and open, and
I agree, and I think as county executive, that would be one thing I would love to try to do, encourage to develop. We got a lot of development coming, and when my daughter, and I keep talking about my daughter, she moved to Huntsville. They had a dog park in their
yes,
apartment complex.
yes,
So why not, if these developers are coming in, let's try and encourage them to. People are looking for that.
Yes.
They're looking for more dog parks. We
Yes.
got one that I know of. That's the
would be
Mitzi
gr-
Park.
That would be
yes,
great.
yes.
But if we can get the developers, so they're going to take what they're going to come back with those. They're going to say, well, that's building space I can make money off of. But it also attracts people to your
Yes,
your
it
development.
does. Yes, it
So
does.
I don't know. It's just something to look at. I think we need to encourage that. We need to have more dog parks, more pet friendly areas. You know, that people can bring their pets to.
It's changing culture.
Yeah,
it's what
it is.
You know, and it does take a while, a little bit at a time.
And again, it circles back to what you were talking about. Meeting with other organizations, and some organizations that you feel are not necessarily like-minded, but they are. I mean, like FOLCA meeting with developers,
Right.
you know, well, there's a message there because it's going to benefit the developers, supporting the community's initiatives.
Well, you look at a company that comes in, their employees might be looking for a place that has a dog park.
Right.
They move to a neighborhood that
Yeah.
has a dog park, so they don't. And you know, our dog park is great, but you have to drive to get there. If they have it in their
Yes.
neighborhood, they can
Yes.
walk the dog to
Yes.
the park.
And
you know.
it's somewhat remote.
Yeah, and it's it's nothing wrong with it. It's great.
Yeah.
But because I bring Denver out there, but if most neighborhoods have their own dog park, so
Yes.
people can walk their pet to the dog park,
Yes.
it just makes a greater amenity for the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
It certainly does. You know, talking with also our communities in Lawrence County about sidewalks again. It benefits humans.
It does.
It benefits dogs. It
Yeah.
benefits everybody. You're out there. If you do have sidewalks, it's very easy to walk your dog. And I'm seeing a lot.
grants out there for sidewalks, so.
Oh, that's
There
great.
are, yeah.
And you know a lot about. Don't you know a lot about grant writing?
Well, I've done a little bit, yes, ma'am. I've
Okay,
done some,
okay.
since I've been doing grants since 2001. So, and I've been blessed enough to get about a little over $5 million worth of grants for our county and surrounding counties and other cities. So, I'm still working on it today. So,
what are the grants that you are working? I mean,
Well,
what?
mostly it's fire related because I was
Okay.
in the fire service.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'd help other fire departments plus the fire departments here in Lawrence County to get grants and stuff like that. So
We think our fire department needs a mascot.
oh yeah, awesome. Yeah. They used to have a Dalmatian a long time ago. You know,
Really?
it's been a while. It's before I got hired on. That was 26 years ago, 27 years
Let me
ago.
ask you this,
Something like
Shane.
that, you know.
I love this. You know, there have been several episodes that we've had where you just sit down, you actually brainstorm. But do you know how many fire departments we actually have in Lawrence County?
We have 13 volunteer fire departments, and then we have 3 city fire departments.
Okay, 3 city fire
That's
departments.
St. Joe,
Okay.
Loretta, and Lawrenceburg.
Okay.
Each have now
then
Loretta
if you're
and St.
talking-
Joe has they're volunteers,
Okay.
but they're still a city department. They're
Right.
not. And then Lawrence County has Lawrence County Fire and Rescue, which has 13 stations.
But they're not, are they manned like,
So they've just recently got one man station that's manned
yes.
like 8 hours a day or something like
Yes.
that during the week. So that's a great
Yes.
accomplishment for them.
At all 13?
No, man,
No.
just the main
They
one
have
off
one.
President Factory Road.
Oh.
Right now, that I think the plan maybe later on is to try to get some.
That is a
full-time labor.
great, this is
So-
a great initiative.
Oh, I agree with
Yes.
100%, and that's just amazing to see. I'm very thankful that we've got that. I would love to continue that as well. I think that's something we need to look at and plan for. We got to have a plan. We can't just get out there because it's going to take money, of course.
So-
Everything takes funding.
So you know where I'm coming from in
Sure.
this. If we add everything up, I mean, that's a lot of dogs. If we can talk these,
That's a lot of dollars.
think about that. I mean, if we went up to every fire department and we found the right match, I mean, how many dogs are we talking
For a
about
mascot?
moving? Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
you're 13 or 15,
13.
13 16 maybe, but
Yeah, the volunteer departments, maybe somebody could take them
Well, they would
home or
have to,
something.
but I
They would
don't
have to. But
Well, Giles County now has
that's something you got to get with Director McDowell, with Tyler McDowell. He's
Yes.
the director of Lawrence County Fire
Yes.
Rescue.
Yeah.
That's probably something you got to get
yeah,
with him.
Tyler's going. Yeah,
Right now, right
Colin,
now.
Tyler, but they're big animal
He's doing all
lovers.
good. Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
yeah.
They're big animal
They are.
lovers.
They are.
probably giving Jay a heart attack if he's listening.
I know we are. We are.
They're
You know.
coming. They're coming.
That's cool. You know.
But Giles County now has service. I don't know what to call it. it's not a service animal, but it's like for mental health.
Emotional support.
Emotional support. Thank you. They're going into the schools. They've got like 4 dogs.
And so they're police
good.
department,
Yes,
right?
they're police department.
Okay, so that's 4
I don't
more.
know if it's police or county. I sent it to John.
Okay, four more.
You know, that's another
And maybe
avenue.
on the city.
Yeah.
You know.
That's an idea though, to look at. I mean, emotional support
Right.
dogs are great. You
So
know,
isn't this
we've
great?
got a great organization in Lawrence County. You know, our service dogs for vets.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's another great
Yes.
thing that we do.
Oh,
And,
absolutely. We've had them
know.
on here too.
Yeah.
So can you believe this? These are really great
These
because
are.
you look at the clock and then it's on.
Oh, yeah.
Time to go.
So I want to thank our sponsors again. Story and Lee, Hearing Service of Middle Tennessee, Lawrenceburg Eye Clinic. See, you can tell I'm
Lawrenceburg Eye Care.
Lawrenceburg Eye Care, and last but not least, Parks Lumber Company.
Yes.
Shane, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We have 10 seconds. You want to end it and say a couple
well,
of
you were
things?
going to ask me about why people should vote.
Yes.
You know, vote for me.
Yes.
So I want to say that their voices, Lawrence County voices, matter to me, and I want to make sure that they're heard, and that's the reason I want to vote.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you all very
coming
much,
on.
and I
Thank you
appreciate that.
too. Take care, and
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you
Thank
for
you.
joining in on Lawrence County Animal Hour.
We'll see you.